April 11th, 6 p.m. We have a quorum. We've got Judy, Ryan, and Chris. And the first item on the agenda is approval of minutes from the March 14th meeting. The only comment I have on, well, actually, question for you, Mike, is the attendance record part of the minutes?
Yeah.
Fix that. You see it?
The
Brian's
yeah,
blanks.
yeah, square, yeah. Judy sent me a list of corrections and typos. I know that was on the list.
All right, so
I move that we approve the minutes from the March 14th meeting.
all in favor?
Aye.
Public comment and items not on the agenda. Here is your public business. All right. Items for discussion, airport construction grants, FAA grant projects, and we'll start with the runway 1, 2, 3.
Sure. Before we do that, before we jump into item actions, how about appointing the acting secretary? The acting chair.
Yep. I move that we appoint my
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Might as well get used to it. You're gonna say this shit or something. All right. Airport converted projects.
Runway 1230 display threshold, they have started work. So far so good. We've had about half a week of rain and a little bit of rain this afternoon, but they not a super complicated project. People have been out working, so that's better than last week. Terminal area study, Carl's wrapping up the final comments on it. To get back to the FAA for final approval. Carl, did you have anything on that?
I did not have anything else. You and I talked earlier, and I will get those comments incorporated into the formal report and submitted back to Junior. And the one thing on the runway project, I did talk to Nate, and he said those pathways, conduits, look like we can reuse those. So that would be some savings that we could use for those, a couple lighted signs.
Awesome. Solar power project, we opened bids on Monday. We had 2 bidders submit bids. Both of the bids were higher than expected, but we had one that was manageable. I don't really have a whole lot to say on that side of it, other than now that we know who we're working with and the materials they're working with. We do need to apply for a Buy American waiver because some of the stuff is not sourced in the US. So before we actually accept the bids and award the contract, I want to get a little bit further down the line with the FAA to make sure we're not going to hit a brick wall or something to stick us with a contract that FAA is not helping us pay for.
So at this stage, bids have closed.
Bids have closed. We have opened. We have a contractor. Travis is working with the contractor for the information for the Buy American waiver. Anything else that we need to mention, talk about?
No, and that pretty much sums it up. That Buy American waiver has to be approved by the FAA. So they're collecting that information. We'll return that back to us. We'll send it along to the FAA. As Mike said, until we know a little more about the certainty of that waiver, it's recommended to maybe hold off on award of the project. There's a 90-day bid hold on the project. So you have 90 days to work with the award project.
Is the Buy American a bill mandate or is it
It is a FAA requirement. So it comes
for any AIP project?
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's one of the most, I think it's the most stringent Buy American requirement that exists.
Okay.
So it can be challenging on most projects.
And generally the FAA is receptive to this?
Yes, there are different types of waivers. There's 3 different waivers. There's what is referred to as a type 3 waiver is the most common waiver. It can be approved at the local ADO level. Doesn't need to go to headquarters, DC. Typically that one's pretty, I wouldn't say easy to get approved, but it's likely to get approved. And the contractor submitted bids, they submitted this type 3 waiver request. So chances of that getting approved are high.
Okay. And we should know that. Hopefully the last one. Okay. So we'll postpone considering resolution subject to bids.
Yeah, you could do a full motion to defer that.
Yeah, I move that we defer, considering resolution. Second. All in favor? Aye.
All right, the next two, we do have a couple of updated contracts that just, update the contracting entity, I believe in the packet, the one that, the ones that you have referenced city by the city. The new ones that will actually sign reference to Iowa City Airport, which is your guys' authority to, approve. But these are the interconnection agreements that we have to, basically allows us to connect to the power grid for, them to collect the excess energy, us to stay on the power grid so that the solar power, the solar panels are generating enough electricity, we pull power off of the grid.
Yeah, am I missing anything? No, just typical agreement that needs to be done with the utility. So it allows them to feed power back to them and pull power from you if needed.
And this is independent of the contract, that we're, like, we had to do this anyway.
Correct, yeah, this has to be done to connect the solar system. It is independent of contract or the bid, I would say, but it will be eligible to be reimbursed by the end. So all the
okay.
costs associated with it will be reimbursed through the project by the end.
Okay, and you did buy back the power, are they required to fill out the project this size?
Yeah, so it's a net metering, there's a set rate for, our excess usage to go back to the grid.
All right, and we have two of them.
We
So,
have one. Right,
There's two agreements because we're connecting to 2 meters, so each one is a separate.
okay, so that's why we have two copies.
That's why we have to.
and one, it's-
Okay,
all right,
okay, and
The difference between, if you look at the descriptions in the contract, one is a 69.2 kilowatt AC system, and the other one's a 34.6 kilowatt system.
okay, can I move? I'm trying to read the resolution. Yeah. Resolution approving level 2-4 distribution generation interconnection request agreement with Mid-American Energy.
second. All right, Brian? No, like, yeah, no, yes. Chris, aye.
Aye,
All right. Want to do the second one?
yes.
Sorry, don't be-
Resolution approving level 2-4 distribution generation interconnection request agreement with Mid-America Energy Company for the 34.6 kilowatt.
That's second. All right, Brian? Aye. Chris, aye, Judy?
Aye.
All right. Iowa DOT grant office.
It looks like next week, no, the week after, hold on.
It's the week after that, I believe, Mike.
After, the week after next, the contractor is looking at doing the, wall. Yeah, the 22nd. Starting the 22nd, ending that Friday, so 5-day project. Whether it's finding like we expected for, Iowa. And that's all I have for that one. The FY25 application, Garrett did send me the cost estimate. I think it was $200,000 for our square by the box hangers to fill in. That would be roughly. Let's look at 90/10, so 25-30,000 local match for trying to do that at an 85%.
Oh,
You're tied.
you pointed that way.
Sorry.
You meant the one down by
Yes.
where we just did the paper.
Yeah,
I got it, okay.
I was looking like a map.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I was thinking that was pavement.
No, sorry, yes, the box hangers over on the south side of the airport, that's where to fill in. Maybe make another box hanger potentially attractive for somebody to know. Haven't completely resolved to apply for anything this year, because I know we're in limbo with our terminal project, so I'm still hesitant to apply for anything, but, if we do, and we can make a final decision next month, because the applications are due till the end of May. Propose applying for.
Would there be a benefit of trying to swing further and then as opposed to just filling it in, take that path down the ways further or not really? I guess we don't know. the
You know,
parts yet.
again, because we're trying to save money for the potential terminal stuff.
Sure,
It's, you know, how far down do we want to go? I mean, we know with just the environmental side of things, we were asking for 700 grand, which would be 70 grand to matching funds.
Mhm.
And we only have $100,000 a year in grant matching funds, so that kind of, we gotta play that balance.
sure, that's fine, I'm just curious, what anything else?
That moves to May too.
So that'll be, yeah, we'll make a final decision in May. There. Operations budget, couple months left of the budget year. I know we still have to collect on our farm rent and we got a couple months of fuel storage fee, but we're gonna be close to break even, if not still lost a little bit money, a little bit on the year. But all in all, I think we're okay. And again, our budgets that we kind of mapped out the next couple of years, we're back to a better position with those, so.
With the, Cleveland building and stuff local, did you get a lot of extra planes in for that?
We did have a few games where we had some pretty decent traffic numbers, especially towards the end of the season when it was, the games you broke the record on and
Yeah.
the first rounds of the tournament. I think we had a pretty decent turnout for airplanes.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just glad that, again, we had anybody come in for a women's basketball game. It's just absolutely mind blowing, but. Hey,
Great.
yeah. Yeah. I wish we'd have more sports that would do that. Management with the electric and I did meet and we have our annual evaluation completed and submitted to the resources. We do have, or I do have on the agenda, the step requests that there are step increase requests that I am eligible for. Again, my ask is that we kind of backdated to when I was eligible for it as we worked through the process of the eval. But other than that,
The resolution. Approving the report. Chris, aye.
Aye.
I guess. Sorry.
Aye.
Okay, he's got this.
Just make sure
Okay.
that-
and, you know, again, just like I always say, if you guys see anything that I'm not doing, or you're expecting something out of me that I'm not doing, let me know. We've got a pretty good working relationship and
You're doing great.
events, I think we've got pretty much the calendar filled out now. Autocross is this weekend. For their first event, I know they were out last weekend checking out the area. I didn't hear anything about it, so I assume it's at least good enough for them. Driving movies in July, Young Eagles first part of May, pancake breakfast in August. So yeah, lots of fun stuff.
We still have other people just using this room for meetings.
Yep, we still have people occasionally using this room. I know, in October, we're going to host another, we're gonna host a lunch with the Think Iowa City group in Greater Iowa City. It's a like business partnership community. I talked to them a couple of months ago. We were kicking off the solar power project, and they're going to come to the airport and do their kind of business lunch, hanging out at the airport in October. Yeah.
I think I missed last month.
Yeah.
Anyway, so generic stuff, there's not been a whole lot for transition to spring, which is good. We, like 2 days ago, took off the snow plows. But figured the odds of getting smited at this point in time were lower. So anyways, we took off the plows, got that stuff sort of put away. I need to double check, but I don't think we used hardly any of the ice stuff this year. I think we did like once for some like slick parking stuff or something like that, but in general, it was pretty, really had 2 horrible weeks. And then the rest of it was all pretty manageable, so, which is good from a cash flow standpoint, it's the pellets, it should last, you just wait. And then buy it again the next time you need it, type of deal. So anyway, not that we don't want the stuff, it's just that we try to be very conservative about, okay, it's actually gonna work at this point, so we'll do it, as opposed to just throwing it on and. When it was negative 20 degrees, it wasn't gonna work anyway, so don't do it. That type of deal, so anyways, that's where that came from. Other than that, yeah, we had on the women's basketball, we've had activity, people coming in and out for games. For the championship weekend, we took 62 passengers on charter airplanes over the game. From not just from Iowa City, but around, and then I think like 54 back or something, just some of them rode home on team charter, stuff like that, so. Which is a lot, I mean, it's only 8 or 9 people at most of the time, that's a lot of trips, so that was pretty cool. See, other than that, shop's been really, really busy. And I feel like the airport in general has been really good, so I haven't had any complaints on anything. Any questions on anything? Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Commissioner reports. Only just a reminder that next week is the Iowa Aviation Conference. I'll be at Tuesday and Wednesday. Electra and Warren are both tapped to be there on the Wednesday. And then on the 16th, which that'll be the Tuesday, I'll be here at Judy and Ryan to do the council update for the.
I had a question. I don't know if Commissioner remember reports of the time to do it, but I was interested in maybe having it on the agenda at some point. So the FAA had their AC that they updated about runway ops and the grass, like in the runway safety areas. So I was curious if we did have that as a discussion item, or if that has been explored before, or what is that?
We have like grass runway or.
Yeah, yeah.
We have talked about the grass runway on several occasions, but we can talk again, we can do it on the agenda.
What was their comments on it?
So basically, I think it was, I forget. So I read through it 2 weeks ago now, but I think basically they were like, the area next to the runway is graded to a certain point, and it also meets sort of the definition for a grass runway, or they were kind of allowing that use, or like maybe just promoting it, I guess. And so then it took a FSDO rep to look at it and say like, yeah, it's okay. And then after that, it was like a way to
Guys,
go.
like, who will do that, like they'll
Yeah.
come up on a runway and they'll land on the grass.
Yeah.
Instead of the concrete.
Yeah.
It was basically saying like, okay, people been doing it for decades,
Yeah.
we bless it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
send me that AC.
Okay.
I don't have it, and that is definitely a change from the FAA standard.
Yeah, and I think this was just last year that they did it, and so it just, I don't know, it seemed like a good. I don't know if it requires a lot of extra work, or like if it has to be marked or anything, but at least it would help maybe attract, or some people, like I would like friends.
Yeah. Part of the problem is we don't have a lot of really good spots.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple sort of.
When I was looking at like an overhead view, I was like, yeah, you can't use the whole length of both runways. So there seems to be just a few little areas, but I mean, even if it's like 2,000 feet. It's enough for.
Yeah, the last time we had this conversation, we were kind of looking at the area between, oh, no, we have a barrel of time. But we were looking at the area, but left side of 1230 between 725 and 836.
Yeah, the interest to see what ALP impacts that would have to that probably be a big component of it. If you leave out ALP, your red line would be acceptable.
Well, because then I don't know if it even qualifies like as a runway, or if like the FAA's blessing of this is just like, well, you can do it. The operations in that area are okay, the business is okay, and it's not necessarily a runway.
Yeah.
It's just like an area that they're okay with, but I mean, the AC is written in a way that it's not like super descriptive, because it's pretty broad. They just like, talk to the Pisdo, so.
Let me take a look at the
Yeah.
AC and I'll talk with Matt as well.
What's an AC?
Advisory circular.
Thank you.
How they define how things should happen, or help guide.
It's like one of the. It's like one of the documents they will issue to expand on a regulation.
Yeah.
Make clear what they're, or it could be informational. Like I think all of the like line handbooks and stuff.
So we can get information for that for another.
Yes,
Details. for
yeah,
what would happen here.
So that's good to know. I didn't know they issued one.
Okay.
How forward? Well, actually. It's not. It's pretty good. They had a good, they do, they do. Commission member reports. You already talked about that. Yeah. Mike and Warren and I met with, somebody from, University of Human Resources and Education. Took them on a tour, Justin took them on a tour of the airport, kind of highlighted all the university business that goes through this airport. Took them over to OPL, met Tom Schnell. Tom kind of gave his spiel about, what they do at OPL. I think it was a good discussion. Mike and I talked with, Justin after the fact saying, we'd like to see more of the presence here. OPL is obviously, you know, a diamond here, but, you know, the rest of it is like,
Yeah.
it's like university, helicopters, and then that's like pretty much all we see. There's more.
He sent me an email today, we've been trading those back and forth. And, asked for pictures of the terminal building, like, we can hang something out there, or do something there. I need to have a conversation about with Matt.
The only thing big enough to hang a university sign on would be a new terminal building. If they wanted to, do that.
That's the reason right there.
Exactly, yeah.
I like your tribute.
But yeah, went well. We're keeping the line of communication open, see if anything comes out of it. But right now.
I've had some interesting thoughts on people to talk to.
And Stratcom.
No, not necessarily Stratcom, but more on the fundraising side. Lynette, the foundation people.
Yeah.
Does seem like we've had more fights, a lot more fights over my house. And I thought we were reducing things coming up and then around.
It's gonna be worse now with the secondary runway closed.
Okay, so that's part of this.
Yeah, so that's probably
Okay.
part of it.
Okay.
Mercer House.
Airway. Off of every, off of motor track.
Oh.
What was doing that? Turns here.
Well, actually, that one, I think,
Next to Kiwanis.
yeah, that one would be more in line with 12.0. So for the next few weeks, it should be pretty quiet.
Okay.
No,
It's,
Yeah, more funds.
I have neighbors commenting.
Yeah.
Since-
I,
and I didn't-
Warren has commented on my phone, and I'm the only one who noticed it actually. Oh, so.
I don't think it's really four line. I don't think so. I don't think
It might be in the A, what is it called, AFC now, chart supplement or something. I don't know,
something like that.
I thought it was in there.
Okay.
You know if it's in there?
It's not spelled out in there. It says something like noise abatement contact report. Because FAA doesn't like to put all of that stuff, where you could actually use it. Same thing with the TFRs.
So yeah, most people don't know about this thing. Or it's like training.
Staff report. vacation.
I get it. I will have something coming up in June and August. I'm going to Gen Con. Gen Con is a big tabletop. Including that.
Next meeting is May 9th.
I won't be here. So,
I'll write it out. Nice.
I remember right from last meeting, this was a lot more than 6 minutes.
How we go. Yep. All right.
Make a motion to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.